Yeah, this is my first YouTube collab.
Yeah. I mean, I've done a ton of collabs, but
I know you've done a bunch.
Yeah.
Like, every time I've seen like one of your videos or something, it's like featuring and then like 4 other people or something.
Yeah, that took a while to get used to. As far as
like
collabs.
big group streams and stuff, right?
Yeah. So as far as like, okay, so I guess for you, when did you really join the community? Because I remember seeing your videos. Because I know the people that support your channel, they're like rabid, man.
Yeah, right. I'm not saying anything about. I love the people that support my channel, so I'm not condoning or anything like what stuff they go and say on other people's videos. But
yeah, they're like, yo, Mr. Morge. But like, when did you actually like join the community?
When did I join the community? I don't even know what that means. Because like, am I joined now? Like,
well, I guess when did you start your channel? Like,
when I started my channel?
Yeah, when like regularly making videos.
Last year in the summer.
Yeah.
I was like, let me get into this. And at that time, I didn't really know. I knew that there were other One Piece YouTubers. But I didn't like have a good context of who all was on the scene and stuff like that. I could just recognize some names because like maybe I'd seen a chapter review or a theory or something like that at some point. Right. So like I knew like who Roger's Base was at that point, for example. So like I joined the community. But I didn't even start doing stuff like Twitter for my channel till, I don't know, like a bunch of months down the line. Then my channel went kind of dead for, I guess, the last there's like a 3 to 4 month period where I just got off YouTube for a while. So I think like really the last 2 months, my channel, I've been putting more time and stuff into it.
Yeah, I saw your video about the hiatus you took and the reason behind it. Thought that was cool. Understood that, taking a break from YouTube when things are like, at the end of the day, YouTube is a hobby.
Yeah.
But it can definitely become the workload of a job, especially if you're uploading regularly. I know you had uploaded your fight analysis.
Dude, that video blew up. That video actually was part of what made me more determined to do stuff on YouTube more, because I mean that had never happened to me before. Like just one video kind of gets a bunch of traction, and I don't know how to replicate that. So I'm kind of just. I don't
think that's the thing. I don't think you should chase that. I think it's, as far I think if you keep doing what you do, it's gonna happen, because the content you make in regards to analysis. Of course, you have people that analyze on YouTube, but I was watching some videos, and I can think of the time it takes, like, because when you're putting a video together, and especially when you're doing a voiceover, you're recording the audio, but before you're recording the audio, of course, you're doing the research. After you do the research, you're getting everything together to edit the video to make it clean, to make it to kind of make it look nice.
Dude, 100%. Yeah, it's good to hear somebody who has done this and knows. Like, I'm not that well versed in your channel, because most of what I know from you is streams and stuff like that. But you've done videos, I'm guessing, where like you do audio recording over stuff that's edited, right?
Yes.
Do you do like one take? Are you like a one take Drake kind of a person? Because I can't do that.
No, okay. No, not
and
at all.
And then when you get to the audio, cutting up the audio,
that takes a while. That takes a while, and then
people don't know.
Sometimes recording, after I'm done recording, I'm like, this doesn't sound like I want it to sound. Then I re-record, and again, sometimes after recording, when you try to edit, you're so out of it after recording, like, all right, I'll get back to it. And then
it's such a grind,
right?
You get back and it's just like little audio peaks and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've had to throw away videos because the audio wasn't right, and then I just couldn't be bothered to go back to it. So I know like that took a lot of time to do.
Not just like picking the right, like if you do a take twice, right? Like you said, you re-record, right?
Yeah. Then
I'm like, which one do I like better? I don't even like the sound of my voice in either. Like, can I just swap it out for somebody else?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's great, the analysis that you do, and I know the one that people recommended me to or sent me to was the whole cake analysis, right?
Did people recommend that to you?
Yeah,
or
because
people kind of dicks about that. Because
well, what happened was myself and a few others, we did a what's bad about Whole Cake Island.
I really found your channel when people in my comment section were like, check this out. So I was like, I think it said, oh, go check out, you were mentioned on Brago's stream or Brago's video. I'm like, oh, Brago DA, so that's cool. So I go over, and the video is like the bad of Whole Cake Island. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Good context here. And I found myself in the comments a couple times, and I was like, this doesn't give me a good look, so I'm out of here.
So that video, after how we went through Whole Cake Island, people recommended me to your Whole Cake Island analysis. I watched some of it, and some points I did agree with, and how your perspective was refreshing, right? Because as much as I feel like Whole Cake Island, I feel like it was a good arc, right? Probably not the best, but a good arc.
I mean, probably.
I don't hate it as much as the community did. So
I don't think I watched enough of your video, your group discussion video, to know exactly what your opinions on it were. And we don't really have to get into that as much now, but if you want to share.
Yeah. So the main thing about Whole Cake Island was a lot of the setup that occurred. You didn't feel like it had a appropriate payoff in regards to, of course, the almost over repetitive Big Mom chasing the Straw Hats, assumingly they were going to be captured, then they got away, and that happened several times just with Big Mom. I know a lot of people were upset with how Sanji was handled. I think I wasn't too upset with that. I personally wanted a fight.
Dude, I wanted the Sanji fight too.
Right?
Like I don't.
I wanted that. But we didn't get that, and then certain things Sanji did you can question. For instance, the main thing people go to was him attacking Luffy. And with that I get it, but then there are deeper things we have to look at to understand why Sanji did it. Right. And it's sometimes it's difficult to have a Whole Cake Island conversation because of how much people hate the arc. So it's just, well, I hate it. I didn't like this and like this. So it's just like, okay, nothing positive is going to come out of it, or fruitful is going to come out of even talking about it. So like, let's just move on. But I guess, what do you think about those things as far as those criticisms?
Out of things you said, but then, well, to start with, I think towards the end, right? I think, and this is kind of a general thing, like beyond One Piece or like just any sort of thing, like universal.
Right.
When you have a group discussion, I think it becomes really easy. It's much easier and more fun almost to shit on something than to go into the good of something. And I think that's just true of almost anything. Like,
this is true.
Even if you come out of a movie with like friends and stuff like that, like you can talk about the good stuff, but it's funnier or more fun to like just start picking up on stuff and like shitting on.
That resonates more too.
Yeah, it just resonates more, and like it's just more fun. I think that's just a thing that happens with group discussions. So then other stuff, I agree with the Sanji Luffy thing.
Yes.
And I agree with that. And I guess, so part of my Whole Cake Island video, it ended up like 40-something minutes long. I think some people were not happy that I didn't go into criticism as much, and that would definitely have been one of my criticisms. Because the defense of that is that, you know, like you can understand why Sanji did that in that situation, right?
Correct.
That's not my problem. My problem is more so that we have had this situation played out multiple times before. It didn't feel fresh to me at that point. Like, we've had this with Nami.
Yes.
We've had this with Robin.
Yes.
And just because the contexts are different doesn't mean that I thought that we've had this with Usopp. So, like, even if Oda's switching the context, I don't feel like
the thing is,
you need to change. You can't keep falling back on that style story. So I agree with that.
Right. And it felt somewhat repetitive, even for Sanji, because of how Baratier played out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
that was See, that was part of my. I don't know if you've seen this, but I had a video specifically on Whole Cake Island and Sanji. And I actually left that out of the broader Whole Cake Island video because I wanted to do one specifically on Whole Cake Island and Sanji.
Yes.
And have you seen that by any chance? Or
I haven't seen that one.
Sorry, what?
I haven't seen that one.
So that one I really addressed most of the problems that I think people had with Sanji, which was stuff like payoffs. He didn't get a fight.
Yes.
And I personally wanted him to get a fight.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what I realized by the end of the arc, Brago, did you ever reread Whole Cake Island by any chance? Like,
yes, I did.
You did. Okay. So I think like a lot of what Oda was trying to do becomes a lot more clear on reread.
Yes.
And with Sanji, in my mind, the main thing that he was trying to do is summed up with when he speaks to Luffy at the end of the arc, or sorry, when Judge speaks to Luffy at the end of the arc.
Yes, perfect. Yeah.
Sanji on all this.
What do you see in him?
Yeah. And Luffy's like, well, those are his best qualities. And in that moment, I understood that like that's everything Oda was trying to do throughout the arc. So like, in every way that it seemed like Sanji failed or was humiliated in that arc was actually a win for him. Because people wanted, it was kind of taking all of Sanji's qualities aside from his fighting skill.
Yes.
And putting them up to the test. That was what it was. So for example, Sanji and Pudding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sanji, like, he's a very chivalrous guy. He's obsessed with women. In his mind, women can do no wrong. Like, that's who he is at his heart. So in this arc, it was basically like, well, let's put that shit to the test. What if a woman absolutely breaks your heart, right? Like, what if she's the nastiest bitch in the world, right? Like, that's what we thought Pudding was in that moment when she did that, that twist where she was like, I'm going to kill the Vince Milks at the wedding.
Right.
Stuff, right. So that was the moment, like, and at that moment, Sanji was already at his lowest of the low.
Yes.
He believed that, like, she was literally his only ray of sun or ray of light or whatever the quote was.
Because he had already given up on the Straw Hats, and he kind of
given up on the Straw Hats. She was his one ray of hope.
Yeah.
In his mind, she was the perfect woman. And then she breaks his heart in that situation. And so basically what we saw, like, I think at that point people were pushing for, well, Sanji by the end of this arc needs to break his rule of like never hit a woman. Like, she's got it coming.
People kept saying
what happened. Instead, what happened was at the wedding, even despite everything she had done, like, even despite all that, Sanji still, like, he could not bring himself to, like, hate her. And he actually protected her, saved her. He called her, like, Pudding Chan and all that stuff throughout the, like, he taught her I was beautiful.
Right.
And that blew her mind. And so basically that part of Sanji, that, like, chivalrous, obsessed with women, like, holds women on a pedestal, the ultimate gentleman, that side of him was put to the test. And it paid off, because when Pudding saw this, like, when she realized how ridiculously honorable, chivalrous this guy was, that's what made her actually fall for it.
Yes.
So by the end of the arc, Sanji's actually got a girl. Like, that's...
She was like falling over for him.
Yeah,
for most of the end of the arc.
He did fall for him for his true self after that. So,
and
like,
I thought it was interesting, the interactions with Sanji. It was different, because typically Sanji is the one.
Yeah, that was a good
go
flip.
crazy for the girl, and the pudding gags. It was perfect, because Pudding, like, she was going back and forth. You know, her personality disorder.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah,
so that was great to see. And again, I'm not sure how much of this you've seen, but in the community so far, people view Sanji as a joke. People use Sanji as the butt of jokes all the time.
I'll just say this real quick. How long have you been following the series?
One Piece, I want to say over 10 years.
Over 10 years.
Yeah.
Were you reading forums and shit back when Enies Lobby was happening or anything like that, or? No forum. Right, I mean, I had gotten wind of Aura Jackson towards the time skip. Right? But no, I wasn't reading it back in Enies Lobby. I was just really enjoying it at that point, just by myself. I mean, like, I think my first time, like, seeing other people's comments and stuff was from YouTube, and that was just because I didn't know that chapters came out on sites like, Manga Stream or whatever the stuff was back then.
Right. Like
Manga. So I just go to YouTube to find, like, videos of shitty scans and stuff like that, and be like, oh, all right, this is the chapter. So, what was I saying? Yeah, but this shit happens to Sanji all the time because I think out of the whatever the monster tree or whatever,
yeah,
Oda is most comfortable with having Sanji take, I guess, get the shit for a bit.
Yeah, different. Yeah. That's the thing where we feel a lot of people feel like Zoro is protected.
Zoro is protected because Zoro's like, I mean, this is just my thought, right? Like, Zoro's whole thing, like, he's a fighter of the crew. Like, okay, here's how I view balanced out, right?
Mm.
Luffy, main character, strongest, gets the biggest wins, but also gets plenty of losses.
Right.
Zoro, second strongest fighter, if you subscribe to that. I do. Second strongest fighter. He gets protected. He doesn't get as many big wins as Luffy. He doesn't get as many losses. Yes. Sanji shines in a lot of other ways. He's smart. He's resourceful. He's the chef.
Right.
He's the third strongest fighter, so he doesn't get the biggest wins, and he also takes a good amount of losses.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's always going to fall into like a 1, 2, 3 sort of thing where they're all, in my mind, relatively close to each other, even if people are like way ahead right now. Anyway, so like the main thing in my mind is if you go back through the series, there are always extended periods of time where it looks like Sanji is well behind Luffy and Zoro. Like that happens all the way up to Alabasta till he fights Mr. 2.
Yes.
Then after that in the Skypiea saga, he's not looking so good. Dude, there were people during Water 7 that thought that Frankie was stronger than Sanji. And it actually looked like that all throughout the Sea Train stuff. Yeah. Up till he fought Jaibura and everyone's like, okay, fuck, I guess it's back to...
It's like he has to continuously validate himself as a fighter, and he continuously proves people wrong. Because we saw it in Whole Cake where at first Daifuku overpowered him by attacking him and pudding. By the end of the arc, he was blocking Daifuku's slashes with his kick.
Dude, I do wish that Oda made a bigger deal out of that. Like it was just a throwaway. It wasn't like a highlighted panel.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I wish it had been.
And then of course the thing he of course hitting Oven without Oven even noticing, saving Chiffon.
Yeah. People try to downplay that now.
That would no.
I don't even get that.
The thing is, people downplay things because they have an agenda and they have like a predisposed way of thinking coming into it. So they're like, whatever, I don't care what you say, I already feel this way about it. But when you try to break it down as far as like how Sanji is resourceful in other ways to make up for maybe the lack of overwhelming strength that you would think someone like Zoro has, because I think Oda does a masterful job of keeping you guessing in regards to the Straw Hats and power levels and power scaling. Some people say it's a bit too much because he saves a lot of things. How do you feel about that, by the way, as far as Oda not showing a lot of things in the series?
Are you talking about shit like
i.e. Payback War?
The Payback War and stuff.
Akainu versus Aokiji. What happened at the Reverie?
The Reverie is the first time I've been pissed about that.
Okay.
Not pissed, but I believe we'll get something. In my mind, the Reverie, the stuff that we'll get to see at the Reverie is going to blow that out of the water. So I'm okay with missing that, I think.
Right.
I think shit's going to go down at the Reverie. I actually think Kaido showing up at the Reverie. Yeah, I mean, that's just a theory. Like, I do think a lot's going to happen at the Reverie, but that was one of the first times that I was like a little like, come on, man. Because with the Akainu and Aokiji, I actually thought that was really dope that we got to come to Punk Hazard and then like
you figure out like, whoa,
this is this gigantic island with this wacky climate, and then eventually it's like, that's because
two admirals fought. Like, that was great. I understood that.
Payback War 2, I'm okay with that. Like that's I don't need to see that because I know we're going to be seeing bigger stuff from Blackbeard down the road. I'm okay with some stuff like that. I
think that started to bother me because Oda's saving Blackbeard, right? Saving as far as exactly what he can do. You don't want to show exactly everything Blackbeard can do, right?
Yeah.
But man, I feel like the Whitebeard pirates, as impressive as we're told that they are, it was not necessarily portrayed that way.
At Marine Ford?
At Marine Ford, just because they were at such a disadvantage as far as location, forces, things of that nature, and they were on the defense, like most of it.
Yeah.
Right? So they didn't get to shine in the way that you would expect. So a lot of people nowadays, they say that Big Mom's crew is more impressive than Whitebeard's crew. But
I
feel like
pick them up and drop them in their place that would do that.
The thing with Big Mom's crew,
Yep.
it seems like she has more depth.
I would think that too, but I just think that it's kind of like Marineford was so short that like you could only show so much. So I think that the next time we see the Whitebeard pirates in action, Oda will have time to go through like what Commander's like.
Yeah,
he's 16. He's 16, right? I think he'll have time to go through Commander's like.
I hope so.
6 through 16 or whatever. At least I hope so.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like things like this. Oda, I suppose, doesn't view as high on his list as far as like, okay, this is something I definitely have to show, right? Yeah. As far as fighting and portrayal in that way. Of course, Oda, the story is more character driven, where Oda would much rather flesh out a character than show us a fight. And I think going into it, I guess after the time skip, you felt, okay, it was going to be a shift in which we would see more matchups, because going into Fishman Island, we saw them show off their skills, and going into Punk Hazard, we saw a lot of fights on Punk Hazard.
Yeah.
Like, we saw a lot of things that happened on Punk Hazard. So then you felt like, okay, this is where Oda is going with it. Even Dressrosa, we may have seen a bit more than we wanted to see in regards to the fights.
You got everybody's fights.
Everybody's fights.
Leo's fight. It's like, I didn't need a chapter for this, but I'll take it. All right.
It's weird. So I think, and then people say Dressrosa was too long, it's too dragged out. But I think after Dressrosa is one of my favorite arcs, of course, because I love Doflamingo. But
your symbol or whatever, right?
Right. It's. I think it's different when you read it all the way through.
For sure. I mean, that's my thing with a lot of One Piece. I don't know how much you know of like about my complaints and stuff, but I feel like people have knee-jerk reactions, and I think
100%. Yes, they do. I see it all the time.
It's just a series where it takes time. Like, it's just taking time. Like, you can't judge a movie if you're like watching it like half scene by half scene. You gotta see the whole thing.
Early Wano, in the midst of like reacting to the chapters.
Yeah,
people were upset. Of course, coming off the Reverie and the revelations about the Gorosei and M and Shanks being there meeting with the Gorosei, it was jarring, and so you were taken aback. So going to Wano, of course, it was a shift in tone, but you understood that this had to happen.
Yeah,
at some point.
For sure.
When it happened, people were upset at the beginning of Wano with the Otama stuff and the stuff with this. People were saying that Wano was disappointing 3 chapters in.
It was nuts. Like,
you know, so I think for certain opinions, I can't take mass opinions seriously, because it becomes, okay, who can troll the most on Twitter? Who can say the worst thing to get the best reactions or the most reactions? Because at the end of the day, that's what you're doing it for anyway, right? Even because you could say, okay, a chapter, all right, it's probably not, it wasn't great. But when you go into it saying a chapter was absolutely garbage, and there was
no chapters at the start of Wano that are absolutely like that's
no, it's the beginning of an arc. It's the beginning of the arc. So, I guess as you go through the community, you'll understand, or you'll see more of it, in which people attack different things in One Piece, in which not necessarily important, but the community like values certain things over just waiting it out, because, you know, of course, being a theorist and stuff like that, that's kind of it's not that many theorists anymore. I say that.
Is that true? I don't have like a full grasp of like who does everything.
It used to be a lot more.
Chapter reviews.
Yeah. I think more so now it's discussions, right, around different things. Of course, back in the day, it was the One World HD. You know, do you know what One World HD is?
I know the name. It's like hearing an old legend or whatever.
Right. One World HD. Alpha Too Late 17.
Yeah. I think I recognize that name.
Alpha Too Late 17. Marco, the One Piece theorist.
Okay.
You know Marco, right? So you had people like that. There were Flying Panda was back in the day as well. Flying Panda's still around, but
good name.
As far as theories, it's not as prevalent as it once was.
Okay.
And I think it's partly due to it's been a lot of theories made, and making a theory nowadays is just, oh, I've seen that before, so it's not as interesting. So now it's more geared towards discussions or analysis, explanations. Do you watch Tekking?
Tekking is my favorite regular One Piece YouTuber.
Okay.
I don't watch like a lot of One Piece YouTuber stuff, but like I find Tekking's videos entertaining because they are entertaining.
Yeah, no, they're definitely entertaining. I think they're more geared towards, I guess, casual viewing.
Yes,
right?
That's kind of like, okay, I'm not trying to like, I'm not trying to criticize or praise or whatever, but in my mind, Tekking is an entertainer. I think he's fun to just watch.
No, I watch a lot of Tekking's intros.
His intros are so
right. What I like about Tekking a lot is how creative he gets with presenting. It's like he wants to pull you in at the beginning.
Yeah.
So every different time, he does something different.
He's all in. He's all like, he has no shame of. I don't want to say shame, but like he has no.
What you see is what you get with Tekking.
Yeah, he's like, this is it. I'm like,
he's the cringe king.
Someone else in front of a camera or whatever.
We call him he's the cringe king. That's
yeah, he's the cringe.
Right.
Here's the thing, like,
he owns it.
I feel like cringe. He is the cringe king, but like he's also aware. So it's not
100%. Yeah,
his viewers are laughing with him, not at him. I think that's a big difference.
I think what he does as far as covering different topics within the One Piece world is something I would like to do. Right. As far as giving my thoughts on because I feel like One Piece is so vast and there's so many things I care about that I want to give my thoughts on. It's like I appreciate Tekking for doing what he does because he's doing it in his own way as far as telling you, breaking down different things in the One Piece world because it's a lot you can forget about.
I think it's like, he's like, yeah, for sure. I think he's like like, do you want to read the One Piece wiki with some more entertaining stuff? As like the presenter kind of.
Yeah, he has an itch, and it's, I understand why he does what he does. I think Tekking is fantastic, and of course the numbers reflect that. Like I
could never do what Tekking does. For example, I could never do that. That's just not
2 videos a day.
Oh, does he do 2 videos a day?
It's insane his upload schedule. It's because I know he doesn't even only do One Piece either. He's doing My Hero Academia. He uploaded a Hunter x Hunter video recently. He does his Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Of course, he does his Bleach things from time to time. One Punch Man.
He goes hard.
Yeah, he definitely goes hard. As far as like uploading, what do you think you'd ever come close to a daily schedule? Because I know you said you have a business and you're working as well.
That's not okay. Here's the thing. In theory, the reason you do what I'm attempting to do is because you want to get to a point where you can do that, where like I work hours that are easier than most people's hours, where I can just do, like, if I wanted to upload One Piece videos every day, I could do that, or I could just do something else. That's what I'm working towards. Right now, there's like no way I could do that. So I kind of have to, where I'm at right now, I kind of have to plan ahead. We're like, okay, what's next week looking like? So next week, I have this much free time. Do I want to put it in the channel or do I want to have fun?
Right.
And then if I want to put it in the channel, it's like, well, fuck, I have this much time. Is it a theory video, or like, can I really try starting writing like another one of my analysis videos, I guess, or editing? Yeah, so that's how it is at the moment. But one day maybe.
No, it is difficult. I know for me personally, I'm still trying to find a balance.
You stream late, right? Like you stream pretty late.
Yeah, so it would be when a chapter comes out, we stream at like 1, 2 in the morning. Right?
That's
so we,
like you're in the same time zone as me.
Right. Yeah. So we stay up and we react to chapter when it comes out. Because I follow a lot of people that are into the community on Twitter. So again, things get retweeted, things get shared. Eventually, it shows up on my timeline. So if I wait till the morning or wait till the afternoon, if I don't stay off Twitter, I'm gonna get spoiled, right?
I've just started experiencing that.
Like, that's what Twitter is. It's people share things all, like, I'm always dodging spoilers from other series. I had to mute a bunch of things because people get excited and they post the entire panel on Twitter, and it's like, well, you just spoiled me. Shit, I can't enjoy it the same way I would. Like, when the Kaido chapter happened, after I was done reacting to the chapter, I went on Twitter and I saw like Kaido's form just right there on Twitter. And I was like, yo, I feel bad. I feel bad if you didn't read it in real time because you spoiled on Kaido's form. I know Uzumaki Khan. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, he's I know him from the Reddit. People post videos of him reacting to. He's like catching up to the whole series.
Yes. So he doesn't do manga. He's strictly an anime guy.
Yep.
He knows Kaido's form.
How does he?
He got spoiled on Kaido's form. Yes, he got spoiled on Kaido. I know another guy, who was basically reading or watching through One Piece. He was doing his video. I think he got up to Dressrosa, and then he talked about how he said, I already know Kaido has a devil fruit. I already know what it is. He said,
oh, dude, I know who you're talking about. This is like 800 episodes in.
He's right.
Not even a One Piece YouTuber. I just saw that.
Yo, so I think Anime Fan Talk posted that on Twitter.
Dude, him talking about Amazon Lily was
right.
The funniest shit.
It's honestly the most rawest
perspective
of a casual, right? Catching up to this series that I loved his perspective because some of the things I understood where he was coming from. Like the casual perspective on Garp is his perspective.
Yeah.
That's his perspective.
People who react, like you, me, like other people, I guess I don't react, but like people who generally do that, like we're all like at least a little weeby.
Yes.
To a degree, right? Like different scales. Maybe I'm more. Maybe somebody else is more than me. Stuff like that. But this dude, haven't seen other videos on his channel. From what little I skimmed, he's not an anime guy.
Right.
Just some guy.
Right. So it was really entertaining getting that perspective from him because it's like I enjoy this, seeing people go through the journey of One Piece because you know their perspective is going to change, right? And you know when you go into it, it's like, oh God, 900 chapters. All right. Let's see what this is about.
One Piece does,
right?
Doesn't get good soon.
It's not immediate.
Yeah, like okay, I can understand someone getting to like Naruto or something like that, right? Like you can see the appeal early on. I think, like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, because the first episode they talk about him being a ninja. They go into like,
people love ninjas.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you had, I think it was first or second episode with him getting the scroll, and then he did the shadow clone jutsu, and it's like, it was very appealing early on, and learn about Sasuke. It was just like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
With One Piece, it's Luffy's jumping out of a barrel. Kobe's not that great of a character at the beginning. It's like, you're like, okay, who is this kid?
Kobe you appreciate later. At first, it's like, all right, he's gone.
Exactly. You're like, finally, we're past this guy. Then you get into his whole story. When you meet Zoro, you're like, okay, that's a guy that I may be interested in the future.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like small things. I know Baratier kind of sold me.
Baratier, yeah.
Baratier?
Or is it Barati? I guess I don't know pronunciations because I don't get to talk to other people about this.
Listen, for pronunciations, I know certain things like Saboti, right?
Yeah.
People say that differently. Baratier, people say that differently. Some people say Zo differently. Some people say Zo. But I don't.
It's definitely Zo.
Right. It's like
that one. I'm sure of. Like I can read.
I know it was funny one time I was watching Tekking. Yeah. Right? And this was, I had known of Tekking and I've seen some of his brief videos, but I hadn't watched a lot of his One Piece content. Mm-hmm. And I went into it and he was saying some One Piece things like differently. And it was, I was like, whoa, why is he, I know he knows One Piece. Why is he saying it that way? And I think off of that, I said, you know what? I can't take pronunciations that seriously. Right? I just like, if I know what you mean, I know what you mean. Yeah. So off of that, I'm like, it is what it is. But I think once I got to Baratier and Sanji and everything that happened with him when you learned about his stories, F and all that stuff.
That was the first good backstory in my opinion.
It was great. Yeah. It was amazing. It was amazing. And it was like, okay, I'm in. And of course the Mihawk stuff as
yeah,
well.
yeah, no,
right?
yeah. But actually, thinking back,
Yeah.
Baratie, I guess, really, yeah, it upped the level.
Oh
I
man,
guess by the time we hit Arlong, that was the first like One Piece style arc,
Arlong,
start to finish, basically.
that was fantastic. I think that was the first moment in One Piece that, not the first moment, but one of the moments in One Piece that you always go back to that you know is going to give you chills.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
because the walk to Arlong Park is
which isn't in the manga. Like I found that out later. I was like,
yeah,
I'm gonna go read how they did that. I'm like, they didn't.
It's not. So the thing, that's why I tell people, if you can, watch the anime first. Watch through One Piece first, because it gives your perspective into as to like the comedy. Right.
Yeah.
The different quips of the characters, and
comedy is always good. Like the One Piece comedy universal.
The anime gives you great perspective on that. So if you watch it, then when you're reading, it's easier to kind of get lost in the world. Sometimes for manga, if you don't understand like certain characters and cadences and how they say things, it's like, oh, okay,
yeah,
right. Like Brooks, like laugh. If you just see it, you're like, okay, yo ho 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 ho. But in the anime, it tells you, it gives you exactly how it is. Even Frankie's Super, right?
Yeah, Frankie's Super. I first heard in the anime.
Yeah.
The manga doesn't capture that.
No. In the anime, the walk to Arlong Park and Nami telling Luffy to help her.
Yeah.
One of the moments that really grip you, and you go back to, and you say, yeah, this is one of the moments that you look for.
Yeah, that was maybe the first like great One Piece moment. Like there are other like classic One Piece. Like, you could say like Zoro versus Mihawk is like a classic one.
100%, yeah, because dedicating his life to Luffy, and then you can go further. Enies Lobby with Usopp and Usopp and Luffy, and then you have Robin's saying she wants to live.
Like I think there are a lot of moments that you can call like greater classic moments. Like I think in my mind, like the first moment that was really great was. Okay, see, with Zoro versus Mihawk, that becomes greater in my mind, like, as we get more time and context on, like, just how big the world is and how ridiculously high the scale the, like, world's strongest swordsman is. Like, that was a great moment when I first saw it.
Yeah.
I think the first moment that, like, really, really, really hit me, like, emotionally in One Piece was the whole Nami backstory, followed by, like, Help Me and that.
Yeah, because you found out what happened to Bellemere and everything she had done, and how Arlong had pretty much made a fool of her the entire time. It struck a chord because she had been doing this since she was a child. So that was definitely a great thing. And like I said, One Piece, it's so many things that you can go into. That's why, again, I appreciate Tekken what he does as far as the refreshers. But I guess for you and the analysis that you do, that's why that was refreshing as well, because it's given a different perspective that's not commonly spoken about in the community, because of how reactionary the community is, and how we based our opinions off of things that happen week to week, instead of looking at it overall, the entire picture. Yeah. Right? So I guess that's why, like, for the analysis, the fight analysis video, it's not surprising that it blew up, because it's not that much content on YouTube like it. You know what I mean? And then again. Hard work pays off.
Like, like in my mind, like I felt like I was doing, good stuff. Like I always enjoyed the stuff that I made. If that makes sense, right? I mean, I still don't like some of the earlier stuff I did or whatever, but like, for a long time, I felt like I was hitting a small niche of the community, and I felt like the people who liked my channel really liked my channel, but I still felt like, well, I don't know if this is ever gonna really gain traction with the broader One Piece community, because I don't know if that many people actually care about this. So the fight analysis video, I think it just got a good, maybe my thumbnail was a little better, maybe my time of release was a little better, maybe I gotten
it's never
large amount of subscribers. I think it was a perfect storm of things happening.
That's typically when a video does really well. That's typically what it is. It's like, okay, thumbnail hit, the title, everything, the metadata, everything that you did, it was just perfect for that time. And then, people started sharing it, recommending it, going back to it. The retention rate was great. And then, of course, the content is great as well. So then it does well.
It builds,
and again, videos like that, I think they're going to flourish because of what the community is now. I think the community is at a place in which it's a lot of content that could be somewhat lacking depth, right?
Mhm.
So it's clicks.
It's different. I guess having your own niche is better.
Right. It's thumbnails, and it's like, so you go into it. It's not much else than the thumbnail.
Mhm.
So it draws you in, but then you're like, this wasn't anything to to care about. So for the community, I feel like the community is always searching for something in which I click on it and I expect more. I expect a little and I get a lot, or just blow my mind. Give me more than I expected.
I like that.
That doesn't happen a lot.
I guess that is the vibe. Like, not the vibe, but I guess that is what draws people, at least to my channel, or at least from the comments that I've seen and the feedback I've gotten. I think that is why people tend to subscribe to me.
Yes.
In my mind, that is all, like, that wasn't what I was thinking about when I made the channel. I just wanted to, like, there's lots of small things, some big things about One Piece that I just really like. And, like, it's kind of like, why do you make a YouTube channel? For me, I made a YouTube channel because, like, I feel like if I have a lot to say, then this is the best platform. Like, why make posts on Reddit and stuff like that? And I wanted it to be more in-depth, and it looks like there is, I'm happy to see that there is a larger amount of the community than I thought that enjoys that. So why did you start your YouTube channel, for example?
Yeah, same. It was I was at work one day, and I had just watched a few reviews because Double Four Anime, he uploaded early, Neverworld uploaded early, King of Lightning, Sawyer, right? Went through watching those reviews, and it was later in the day, and I've caught myself talking to myself about the chapter, right? I was talking to myself about the chapter. I was like, whoa, right? Because none of my friends were really into anime. If they were, it was Naruto.
Yeah, dude, it's hard when
Dragon
you
Ball.
really like something so much. And it's
so I'm talking to myself. I'm always in the comment section.
Yeah,
and I didn't want to start it initially just because I was worried about how it would look, because the anime world isn't the world that I come from, and like,
oh, okay, I think I know what you're saying.
Right, so I was always an athlete. I was always, so it was never. I was always worried about, what if somebody that I know found my channel?
You were closeted. That's what it was.
Right. So it was like, man, I'm sitting there like, why am I so worried about other people's opinions? Like, I want to make myself happy. So I remember after I got off, I remember calling my girlfriend and I said, hey, I'm about to start a YouTube channel. She says, huh?
Did she know that you?
Yeah, she knew I was into stuff like that, but it was me starting a YouTube channel. She didn't think it would be about anime. She said, "Oh, you about to talk about basketball?" I'm like, no, it's about to be about One Piece. One Piece. Okay, fine, okay, go for it. And I remember I had like a Dell laptop with like a terrible webcam, and I set it up and I did like 14 takes because I kept forgetting what to say.
Dude, it's harder. People don't know. It's harder. Like, I'm still working on chapter keys and stuff. It's harder than people realize.
It's very difficult to say something, to get through a chapter and also be somewhat entertaining and engaging, right? Without stumbling, and even stumbling it's tough. It's very difficult, especially early on. But I put it out, and it took a while to get some traction. It took a while. I think it took a couple weeks for me to get even 5 likes on a video, but I didn't care because when I got 1 like, I was ecstatic. I was just like, yo, people want to hear what I have to say, and I'm getting my thoughts out there. It was so refreshing to talk about something I care about. And then oh man, it was just great to get these things off of my chest.
Dude, okay, so like, I know what you're saying. Like, for me, it was basically like, in my mind, and I'll defend this from anyone, whoever, and I've argued with people in real life about this and stuff. Like, in my mind, One Piece is a masterpiece. I think it's
most definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's something really special. I've read a lot of stuff, not just manga, like books, stuff like that, TV, movies, and stuff. Like, I don't see anything that's quite like it. I think it's a masterpiece, and I felt like when I would watch YouTube and stuff, I didn't really see anything that captured that in a way that I wish it would, like, explain that I wish it would. So I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll do it. So that's basically the idea behind why I started.
Yeah, but, I think I'm at that point now.
Yeah.
Right? In which I understand One Piece is a masterpiece. I understand it is great, but I want people to see it that way as well.
Yeah,
I want
not
people
just
to
right. Not just because it's popular.
Exactly.
Like, it's the best-selling manga. I'm like, well, that doesn't mean anything.
It's not it.
Best-selling manga for a reason. So, like,
I want you to understand Luffy's character, right?
Yeah.
Understand Oda's reasoning behind Zoro and Sanji as characters and why he does things that way. Understand the reason why Oda keeps characters around.
Yeah.
Understand Oda's reasoning behind or Doflamingo, a character like that, right? A character like Garp, right?
Characters like everything.
A character like Akainu, and why he
say a lot about Akainu.
So the thing is, sometimes I'm literally on the Wikipedia and I'm rereading stuff about the characters. Then I go to the manga, I'll go to the chapters and I'm rereading I'm just like, oh man, this is different from what I read previously.
Dude, actually, like, reading the series changes so much. Like, like, every time I reread an arc, like,
it's different. It gives you something different because I'm like, oh, okay, this is what he was trying to say here.
Yeah.
And it changes my opinion completely on something that I was so adamant about. Like, I'd be so adamant about something, and then after I reread, I'm like, oh, okay, I was wrong. Like, I was dead.
I think I'm definitely. I didn't like Pudding as a character throughout Whole Cake Island.
I love Pudding.
On the reread before I did the Whole Cake Island video, I was gonna have a section that was pretty anti-Pudding, and then it ended up being like part of the reasons why like it fits one of the themes of the arc and stuff. Like,
I love Pudding.
Good changes, yeah.
I love Pudding. Pudding is one of the characters that I enjoy.
I think in my stream you're like, oh, your favorite character is Pudding.
Right. I was 100% trolling with the Pudding because you're gonna get that question a lot. As far as your favorite character, you're gonna get it a lot.
You know, at some point I'm just gonna say it, but like
no, I understand why because when you do that, like you said, people are gonna start looking at your opinions on said character and say, oh, you're just biased.
Yeah,
that's that's not how you feel about the character. You're just saying that because so. For Doflamingo, people know how much I love Doflamingo.
Yeah.
So every time we talk about either power scaling or Doflamingo's character, because people don't like my perspective that I didn't feel like Doflamingo was wrong for killing Corazon. Because at the end of the day,
okay, I mean, I see what you
right.
Like, all right, Corazon was gonna sell Doflamingo.
People love Corazon, and I get it. I like him a lot too, but at the end of the day.
He's gonna start out of the breeds. Yeah,
he was a traitor. I mean, it's like he became a Marine, and he tried to come back to put his brother in jail. And it's like, yeah, it's his brother, but he didn't view him that way at that point. He wasn't his brother anymore.
Dude,
you know?
Actually, yeah, I know what you like. Okay, actually, going back to I forget this guy's name, 800 episodes in guy, right?
Yeah,
that guy in his video, he said something that was funny to me. He was like, you know what? I sympathize with Doflamingo actually because if I like coming from my background, my dad had a bunch of money and threw it away.
Yeah,
I would be mad.
I'd be mad too. That's something I always talk about. I haven't made my Doflamingo analysis yet, but one thing I always talk about is that Doflamingo and Corazon shows you just how you could be in the same situation and come out completely differently.
Yeah.
Right. In which they both went through the same things. Right. Mm-hmm. But Doflamingo went the complete opposite route of Corazon, in which he wanted to see the world burn for what happened to him. And Corazon, he wanted in some ways to save it. So it's just, I think that's why I appreciate Doflamingo's character more, because he was taking on the world for something personal that happened to him. And in certain things as you go through life, you feel like the world is against you. And sometimes you want to pay back the world. So this is just like an exaggeration of that. In which I'm going to use my power, influence, and my life to pay the world back for what happened to me personally. So that resonated with me.
Because like between Doflamingo and Corazon, like Doflamingo is more realistic.
Yes.
In a way, like that's a more realistic reaction. Like, Corazon's the good guy. That's like the ideal way.
Yeah, like you become a Marine working with the people that hurt you.
Yeah.
It's not normal. Of course that happens, but it's not normal. Typically you want to rebel against that.
100%. Yeah, like that's why it should happen. Like that's why shit happens in the world.
You were about to die.
Yeah.
They're about to stone you to death. And it's again, that's one of the great things about One Piece. The Garp's decision is one that's always debated as far as like how he went about it.
Ace.
Yeah, with Ace, as far as everything he did. Ace's character is one that's always debated. Again, it's a lot of things you can get into. That's just so much depth there.
Yeah.
That you have people on both sides that feel strongly about their side because they're like, no, Ace turned around. It's like, no, well, Garp was right there. It's like, no, well, Luffy, you know, it's just so many things that's going on.
There's the trio of those guys.
Yeah, yeah. But I absolutely love it. So for me, every time I'm either reacting to a chapter or making a video, people ask me about rating for chapters. I said it's not just about the chapters, it's about the experience.
Yeah.
Because I think what adds to it for me is like talking to people, some of my friends about it and saying, hey, like bouncing ideas off of them and just seeing how they felt about a chapter. That adds to the chapter for me. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's like I don't rate the chapter, I rate the experience. Week to week, you know, because it's at this point, One Piece is not just the chapter. That's not what it is for me anymore. Now it's a part of my life, a huge part of my life, because I dedicate and I sacrifice a lot of time for videos and streams and just things around it. So it's not, I can't just look at it, and I would never disrespect One Piece or Oda, because honestly, my life is so much different now because I'm reading the series and people that I've met while reading the series. So I view it, I have a bit more reverence to One Piece than any other manga. Maybe Hunter x Hunter is close, but for One Piece, you know.
Yeah, so you're like you're like some years ahead of me, I guess, in terms of like how it's like such a like it's more than just a chapter, as you're saying. Like you do so much beyond that's One Piece related, that basically it is like a part of your life, right?
It's a part of my life, and you know, a lot of times people disrespect it and say it's trash, it's this, it's that, and I understand, I can understand your opinion on it, and I just feel like if I had a friend, right, and somebody that had a body of work, I would be careful with how I critiqued. Like how I was critiquing their content. I'd be critical of things I didn't like, but I would, you know, kind of take their feelings into consideration, saying, hey, like, you know,
it's like a big part of
yeah. And I feel like a lot of times people just don't care, and I think that's just the society we live in which being just abrasive and just loud and just saying whatever you want, people, that's applauded in a way. And
I mean, look at certain. Oh, never mind.
it's
certain things. All right.
It's one of those things that it's just people applaud that because of just how the society is nowadays. But I just go about
negativity is always stronger. It always has a stronger force.
Yeah. I was watching a video in which they talked about negativity and positivity, in which I guess for negativity on the internet, it impacts you just as much as negativity in the real world, whereas positivity on the internet doesn't impact you as much as positivity in the real world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
Which is interesting because it does, because when somebody puts something negative, it immediately you're like, wait, what? Emotions build up because you're like who is this person? What are they talking about?
Because like, okay, so like if I make a video, right, and I put it up and I'm going through the comments, because obviously I'll go through the comments. I love the positive comments.
Yeah.
But when there's like a strong negative comment, like that, I remember that more.
It stands out.
And I'm like, I kind of want to say something to this person. Of course. But then, like, I'd have to do it to every person.
Yeah. And I'm not sure exactly why that is, but for the negative comments, I remember them more. I want to respond to them more, and I think it's because the positive comments, I definitely appreciate them, but again, some of the positive comments I try not to take them to heart as much, because I don't want to develop an ego, like this huge ego as far as, oh, I'm definitely amazing, I'm great, So the positive comments, as much as I appreciate them, I look for a comment that's maybe someone new to the channel that's telling me something. Okay, it's a different perspective. I like critical comments that's giving me constructive criticism, but and it could tell it's not from a place of malice, right? It's them telling me exactly how they feel about it and how they feel like I can improve on something. I appreciate those a lot more, but negative comments definitely stand out a lot more to me.
Especially negative shit that just misses what you said.
Yes.
Because then it's like, what do I even do? I already made the video.
It's like you just don't understand me, and yeah. I've blocked people now, right? I'm blocking people now, in which
what, on Twitter or YouTube?
Mostly YouTube, YouTube, because on Twitter it's just I unfollow. I know people mute people. I just don't follow you if I don't care about your perspective anymore. But on YouTube, a lot of times I block because people come in and they say things to kind of trigger you, and it's like when I feel myself getting to that place, especially after I respond to a comment and then it just keeps getting worse. I'm like, okay, all right, you know what?
Gotta drop this.
We're not getting anywhere. I know if you comment again, it's gonna bother me again. So therefore, I'm just like ending this relationship right now.
Dude, because the thing is, they win if you're responding.
They already won.
You're a YouTuber. You already get to speak to like
they already won if I respond.
Thousand amount of people. If they get your attention, then they're winning. Basically.
Sometimes it's just so man. Sometimes just I don't know why I do it, because sometimes I respond and I delete my comment because I'm just like, this is so stupid. Let me just not go there. But I guess YouTube does that too as the audience grows. You know, the range of people and different types of people you're affecting, that grows as well. So it's something I'm still getting used to. I'm sure as you go, you'll get used to it as well. This is dope. I mean, I hope we can have more conversations in the future about things, because I think we have a similar perspective on certain things.
Yeah, I couldn't tell because I didn't know you that much, basically. Like the one video, all right. The few times that I think back in the day when I would see you streaming or something like that, so I'd go over, and this was when I was very naive, right? So I'd go over to a stream when you have your panels up for a chapter reaction, right?
Yeah.
But you cover it up with some stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You said cover it up?
Yeah, like you can't see the panels clearly when you're doing
Yeah.
Okay, so I assume that's to avoid copyright strikes.
100%, yes.
So like, I don't know, at some points I was like, oh, somebody's streaming YouTube. That's how I remembered, because I remembered your name, like you're someone who streams YouTube frequently. So I'd go click the stream, I'd be like, we can't even see the fucking panels.
Yeah. I got a lot of that.
Like, what's this dude doing? Why does he show that?
I got a lot of that. The thing is, I had to realize that, because it's a common thing. As you once you join the community, you know that you don't show panels, right? But
yeah, I mean, I got it for my videos, so I'm just running a risk. I don't know what I'll do, but
it'll come, but it'll pass as long as you do what you need to do, right?
I heard like Joyboy, like he went through.
Joyboy got 2 copyright strikes.
Yeah, but he's cleared now.
He's good now. Nah, he's definitely good now. Yeah. But I got a lot of that, in which I started getting annoyed because I'm like, you should know this. Like, you should know that I can't show this. Do you not think I would want to show everything to people? Right?
Why is this shit on the
yeah, so after a while I understood, like, okay, these people don't know. So I'm just like, nah, I can't show it because it's copyright strikes and I don't want to get my channel terminated. So that's why. And the thing is, in the community, I'm one of the people that show a lot in comparison to what people show on reactions, because people don't show anything.
Yeah, right? That's true. You actually have it up on the
I have it up, and you can make out at least the page I'm on and see somewhat of what I'm reading. Some people don't show anything.
Most people, it's like an audiobook, like, okay, they're reading,
right?
Kind of just know what they're based on what they're saying.
Yeah, like Roger doesn't show anything in his reactions, and he has
Roger's really good at doing the reactions though. Right. Like playing all the parts and stuff like
Roger's great. Roger's amazing. Like, Roger's one of the people in the community that, like, I love and respect, like, a lot. And I'm sure, like, you being in the Reverie, once the Reverie stream happens, you'll get more, like, of people's personalities and interact more. It's great. Like, the community is great to be a part of. It's some toxicity a little bit, but
was the Reverie your idea? Because I know you hosted it.
So
that's really big.
it was. I had a stream.
Yep.
One day, it's like last year sometime. I invited King of Lightning, Joyboy, Roger, I think Legend Mac, and a bunch. Everybody came through. Right? Everybody came. Zora Fanboy came. Everybody came on that day, and it was amazing. Right? For me, it was kind of overwhelming, but like all those people in my stream at one time, but it was like, whoa, that is
basically the Reverie.
Right. It was a moment, right, in which you had all these people, all these influencers at one time talking about a chapter. And of course we went into different things. And for the thumbnail, I chose the old Reverie photo that we had with Cobra and some of them sitting around a table.
Wait, is it like that art one where everybody's just like in a painting or something like that?
Yeah. So I had all the big YouTubers in that one picture.
Dude, that's a dope picture.
Right. So I did that, and then after that, Roger was like, "Yo, let's do that again." Right? Let's do it again. That was fantastic. So then Roger hosted the first two. King of Lightning hosted the third one, and I hosted the fourth one.
Okay, so
it was.
But the original baby, if it was a Braga stream.
Yeah, it was just a regular stream that kind of turned into that, and then like just being in the stream because I had watched all these guys for so long, and of course I had one by one, and they've stopped in, right? Yeah. But at that time, having them all in the stream, and then having everybody's opinions that people like care about, right? Like people, and it was like I'm in it, and even when I hosted the Reverie, Tekking, Sawyer.
Yeah.
Right? Joy Boy, Roger, all in my channel on one place.
How many subscribers is that? There's like 1 million plus.
Right? I can't explain to you how I was feeling after, before, and even now when I think about it. It's mind blowing. And even when I sometimes I'm scared to go back and watch a video. Because when I go back, I'm just like smiling the entire time, like, yo, this really happened. Like,
dude, I mean, it's like the United Nations of. Okay, I mean, what am I talking about? It's literally the Reverie. That's
and the thing is, Sawyer's not that involved in the community, right? So
I saw from comments, people were like, they got Sawyer,
right?
Like, they got all these other guys.
Sawyer came through and was like, yo. And then what was even better about it is the conversations we had after the fact. We had great conversations after the fact. And
you're saying like post-stream?
Yeah. The post-stream conversation was amazing as well. So that's something I would always cherish. And once you get into Reverie, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's just it's a moment that you enjoy, and you always want to be a part of that because people, like-minded individuals that are doing things that you enjoy as well.
Dude, when I first, in the early days of my channel, I think that was maybe when the first Reverie or first two, I think all three came out at the same time or something like that, right? Maybe I'm wrong.
The Reveries?
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong on that.
They were like 6 months apart or so, like.
Oh,
like that.
Okay,
yeah.
Never mind. But there was like a Reverie stream or whatever, and at that time I wasn't that aware of like the broader YouTube. I was just doing my own thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's cool, and somebody commented on it. It's like, try and get in Reverie. But then later on, like once I started recognizing names and stuff and actually looking at other people's videos to see what other people are doing, what I'm doing and stuff, and I was like, fuck, Reverie Part 4 just came out. I was like,
yeah.
I was bummed. I was like, man,
yeah.
How do I get in on this and stuff? And then my channel went dead for a bit, so I'm like, I'm probably gonna miss Reverie Part 5.
Yeah.
So like when I started doing stuff again, I was like, okay, gotta get to Reverie Part 5 because that just seemed so much fun. I didn't know I didn't know to contact or anything like that. I was like, do I just do this over Twitter, Discords?
Yeah, it was that's the thing with the Reverie. It's try to make it not, where it's a bunch of people just, whatever, just jumping in, because you want to keep it a bit, like as something you can shoot for, right? Mm-hmm. But I think as it grows and as the community grows, it's like it's going to be more people, and I think the idea behind it is to get as many different opinions as possible. Mm-hmm. Again, I think your opinion is one they're going to enjoy. Everybody's going to enjoy it. So and then again, it's a platform to kind of lend your voice to it. That a lot more people are going to be introduced to you that you haven't met before. And it's like some people are going to be like, oh, who's this guy? Who's this fucker? Right? Because I've got a lot of that. Yeah. But there's going to be a lot of people like, oh, I like this guy's perspective. And it's a wonderful feeling. I can't even explain it.
I'm excited. You know when it is?
I'm thinking January.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
early January.
Cool.
Early January. That's the feel I have, and I've spoken to a few people, and that's where it's trending to, early January. And then it's a lot. The last one we talked about was the chapter with the hat, with M, with the with Doflamingo and all that. That was the last chapter. So since then, it's been the Luffy Yonko, the regular stuff. It's a lot of stuff that's happened. So the next one should be explosive.
Awesome.
Yeah,
all right.
But all right, man. Again, this was a pleasure.
Yeah, this was a good stream, dude. This was fun. Like a great first collab.
This was dope. Again, anytime you want in on a stream or shit, you want to talk about One Piece, hit me up. Again, it's a lot of toxicity out there, and I know sometimes we talk about shit that's like, like why do you even talk about that? But it's fun sometimes just talking to people that care about the shit you care about. So
100%.
I definitely appreciate you joining me on this, bro.
Definitely, man, and I definitely appreciate you, like, I guess, bringing me in, because that's huge.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like I said, it's great content. I think you bring a great perspective that could, it could change some of the perspectives in the community, right? And I'm all for that, because sometimes I get tired of the same old opinions. So, again, it's refreshing. So I appreciate you and what you do, honestly. It's
good to hear, man. All right.
But if anything, we'll talk.
Yeah.
You'll definitely see me around. I'll see you around for sure.
Awesome.
All right, bro. All right. Catch you later.
Braga. Good stuff.